Voted our Valley Center High School Jaguar of the Year. Please welcome Valedictorian Mr. Brett Henderson.
Did you feel that? Well, hello class of 2013. About 2 weeks ago, when Principal McCowan informed me that I would have the honor of speaking to all of you today, I have to admit that I procrastinated as far as actually writing the speech goes. About 10 days later, also 24 episodes of Numbers, 16 naps, and about 19 microwavable pizzas later, I still had nothing. But luckily, after I heard that Kaylee already had finished her speech, I figured that I really ought to get moving. Fortunately, this art of putting off today what can be done tomorrow is one that has been mastered by countless of us here today in order to bring as much enjoyment as possible out of any given day while still managing to miraculously finish Mr. Walford's mind-boggling lab write-ups, Mr. Tuttle's FRQ and MCQ practice tests, and Mr. Dolan's incredibly long and tedious, though don't get me wrong, intellectually stimulating DJs. For those parents who don't know what all those acronyms that teachers now like to throw at us mean, it's okay because most of the time neither do we. Nevertheless, procrastination as an art form is a more or less universal skill among this nation's high school students, which is something that can't be said about many of the other unique lessons that are gleaned from both growing up in Valley Center and attending VCHS. For example, we learned that you can't breathe in the smell of orange blossoms without also catching a whiff of a chicken ranch. We also learned that, hey, it's okay to choke and elbow your friends as long as it happens during Jaguars and you both signed a waiver. Unfortunately, much of Valley Center wisdom doesn't translate well to other locations, especially the more urban ones. Here in VC, we think that going green means driving down Colgrade in our new John Deere. Despite taking government, we still think that clear and present danger is Coach Gilster on the bus ride home after a loss to OG. I love you, Gilster. And most importantly, for the boys, we think that a bathroom is anywhere between our front door and the school. Now, I'm not trying to say that Valley Center didn't prepare us well for the real world. On the contrary, I believe that the amazing staff here has done a tremendous job of equipping us for whatever our plans for the future may be. All I am saying is that our experiences here in this forgotten corner of San Diego will most likely lead to a few comically awkward encounters as we go about our lives. Yet going about our lives is exactly what we must do, despite any apprehensions about discontinuing a lifestyle that has by now become comfortable for us. Being Jaguars and all of the experiences that come with that title will forever remain in our blood, but our lives will definitely be different after high school. Just this week, I had a Facebook conversation with a friend who wasn't too thrilled to be graduating. When asked why, she responded simply, yet profoundly, change. Now, change is a concept that's probably been addressed by every single valedictorian speech ever delivered, but it just didn't seem right for me to break tradition. This entire ceremony is a sort of rite of passage, the ultimate symbol of change in the life of a young man or woman. Yet despite the universality and the inevitability of change, many of us dread it. Perhaps today's symbolic transformation excites you, and rightfully so, but we live in a flawed, fractured, and manipulative world, a sometimes sinister combination of nature and society that's intent on bringing about threatening changes in each and every one of our lives. When these changes do come, we can address them with a variety of responses. First, we may decide to take the escapist route. By withdrawing from the challenges we face, whether physically, emotionally, or chemically, we feel that we can avoid their harmful effects. However, ironically, the harm is done by the escape or the withdrawal itself. For when we try to escape from society, we leave behind not only the pain, but the joy as well. As the brave man Chris McCandless once wrote, happiness is only real when shared. As humans, we were created to face and act on challenges placed before us. But by sidestepping change, we forget this part of our humanity. Another response that we could take to change is to allow it to change us. When we face difficult decisions, we can discard our values and beliefs and simply take the path of least resistance. In doing so, we become nothing more than the product of time and circumstance. We make or dissolve friendships as convenience demands. We forget the value of family and heritage, and we float through life like a ship on stormy seas without an anchor. Individuality disappears because, hey, anyone placed in your position would presumably be tossed around by a circumstance and changed just as you were. Yet the final response to change offers the most hope. Rather than allow circumstance to change us, we have the power to change in order to meet it. Rather than adopt a passive role in life, we may actively strive to adapt physically, mentally, and spiritually to the challenges we face so that we may better adhere to the values for which we stand. Hardships and painful transitions will inevitably come, either from the dumb luck of nature, the evils of society, or both. But we can never allow them to take away our love for people or our respect for our values. Only once we realize this can we truly grow as individuals and face life like Jaguars. I wish all of you, my fellow class of 2013, the best of luck as we depart from each other as a class for the final time. Breathe deeply. Smell Valley Center. The oranges and the chickens. Take it all in, because we made it. Now, the procrastinator that I am, I left my thank yous for last, so before I leave, I'd like to thank all of the faculty, family, and friends who have helped me get to where I am today. I love you all, and happy birthday, Stephen Coe. Thank you all for listening, and God bless.